Hello and welcome to a new year and a new episode of the Bert's Books podcast. And it is a very special first episode of the year because it is also Esme's first episode of the year and of the podcast. Welcome to the gang. Esme, how are you?
Thank you, I'm great. How are you?
Yeah, I'm very well. A bit cold today.
It's a little bit chilly.
Yeah, it's -1 according to my phone. Now, Esme, you are, how old are you?
15.
15. So you are our official voice of the youth because I think no matter how much me and Michael try to pretend, we can't do that anymore. So you've been working at Bert's on and off for about 2 or 3 months now?
Yeah, since August.
Since
was my
August?
first shift.
Wow. I didn't realise it was that long.
Yeah.
Are you enjoying it?
Yeah, it's been great. I'm loving it.
Good. Now, just in case anyone in like education authorities are listening, I should add, Esme's doing like 1 shift a month or every other week.
Yeah.
On a Saturday. I haven't been sort of putting her to work every day.
No.
During her lunch hour and all of that. So stop writing the angry letters. So Esme, what I like to do is I like to get to know people who are coming on the podcast. So what sort of books do you like to read?
I love like fantasy with mix of like dystopian genres as well, and then occasionally like a horror or murder mystery.
Yeah?
Yeah.
And are you reading mostly just young adult, or are you reading adult books as well?
I'm reading mostly young adult, but occasionally I'll go and read some more general adult fiction.
And is there a difference between them for you? Like, do you find adult books, like, are they... I was going to say, are they harder? But you're a very good reader, so...
No, I think they're both the same. It's just the stories that are a bit different because I can relate to the YA books more because they're focused more around, like, teenage age groups. So, yeah.
Cool. So, of all those, which would you say is kind of your favourite genre?
I would have to say like either fantasy or dystopian. Like those are the main books that I read, and the books that got me like into reading.
And what was your favourite book of 2025? I've just thrown that at you. I haven't given you any warning, and I was going to ask that.
I'd just say Sunrise on the Roofing.
Oh,
Collins.
the Hunger Games.
Yeah.
I haven't read that.
It's amazing. I love it so
I
much.
read the Hunger Games. This is my whole I'm an old man kind of thing. I read the Hunger Games when they first came out, like 15 years ago or something. And I was working at WH Smith head office at the time, and I remember one Friday being late into work. And it was because I was finishing off the 3rd Hunger Games novel. I was like, I'm sorry, I was working, I was reading.
I mean, it's priorities.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, and I was working in the book department. I needed to have read the books.
Yeah.
Right?
Exactly.
Perfectly valid. So, when did you discover Hunger Games? Did you discover it through the films?
No, so I discovered it because one of my best friends was like reading it in year 6, so I decided to take the first book on holiday with me. When I went away with my family, and I loved it, and then I had to go and buy like the 2nd book, and I just bought the rest of the series.
Nice, good. Yeah, I think that was what I did with Hunger Games. It's like I've just got to read them all now.
Yeah.
But I haven't gone to the prequels yet, so maybe no.
They're really good. I really enjoyed them.
Do you think they're better than the original series, or?
They're very different because based on like the timeline of the universe, it's at a very different time where like the revolution isn't what it like gets to be, if that makes sense. But they're really good, and I would definitely recommend giving them a read.
Maybe I'll add them to my list for this year.
Yeah.
What I was going to ask next, I have completely forgotten. So, tell me what book you're going to tell me about today.
So today I'm going to be talking about Shatter Me by Tara Maffey.
Okay, and that's part of the series as well, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
Okay, so that's one I haven't read. Oh, I've remembered what I was going to ask.
Oh, okay.
Do you do TikTok?
No, I
you
don't
do TikTok?
No, I don't have it.
Oh, well, what's the point in having a young person here? I don't do TikTok. I don't get it.
No, I don't have it.
Oh, okay. All right. I'll have to find someone else then who does TikTok. I was going to ask because there's like a whole audience or a whole thing on there about people who find their books through TikTok.
Yeah, Book Talk.
And I didn't know if you were one of them.
No, I'm not on it.
Is TikTok not cool anymore?
No, it's just I just never got it,
okay,
and I still haven't.
Oh, so you're not cool. Okay.
Oh, okay. Okay, guys, thank you.
Gotcha.
Right.
Right. So I'm going to be talking about. Well, first of all, you're going to be talking about Shatter Me.
Yes.
By how do you say her name?
Tower of Maffei, I think.
Okay, we'll go with that.
So.
We'll go with that.
Yeah.
I'm going to be talking about My Grandfather, the Master Detective, by Masatoru Kanishi, which was my first read of 2025.
Lovely.
Both of those coming up on the other side of this music. So, my first book of 2025, which I wasn't going to read. I'll let you into a little behind the scenes secret here. I was going to read something else, but I realised I had nothing to talk to you about in the podcast. So it's just going to be like 5 minutes of me just not really saying anything. So I thought I'd better read a book that is already published, because I was going to read a book that isn't out until February.
Okay.
Which we'll get to later, I am sure. But I've read My Grandfather, the Master Detective, by Masatoru Kanishi, translated from Japanese by Louise Heel Kawai. I probably have said that wrong.
Okay.
Let me read you the blurb. He's not your average grandpa. As a lover of classic crime stories, it's no surprise that schoolteacher Kada encounters everyday mysteries more often than your typical 27-year-old. Solving them is another matter, though. For that, she turns to her beloved grandfather, who retains a keen sharpness of mind despite his dementia, and who was once a key member of the Waseda Mystery Club in Tokyo. From impossible locked room murders to confounding missing person cases, the grandfather-granddaughter duo weave stories to get to the bottom of every mystery. But all the while, an insidious shadow from Kada's past is slowly closing in on her.
Ooh.
I don't know if I'm saying her name right. Kada. It's Kaede.
Okay.
What's quite interesting about this is that you've got her grandfather.
Yeah.
And then you've got her friends. One is somebody that she works with called, I want to say, Waiter or something. I might have got that completely wrong. But I can't see it now, which is really annoying. I've opened up the page a bit to see, and I cannot find this character at all.
Oh.
The other one, whose name I can remember, is Shiki, Shiki. Okay. So basically, the first chap is somebody that she works with.
Yeah.
And he takes her along. She's a teacher.
Okay.
Takes her along to a play. Where they meet Shiki. And Shiki and this guy have history. They've been friends for years.
Okay.
Used to play baseball together. And she just kind of realises that she has a connection with this Shiki guy because he likes mystery books too.
Okay.
Or at least he's very knowledgeable about them. But he kind of looks down his nose a little bit at some of them. At some of the ones that Kada likes to read. And some of the ones from her grandfather. Because he kind of says, oh, they're all predictable. Or that one doesn't work. And that one's a bit rubbish. And so her grandfather... I'll park them for a moment. Her grandfather talks about these mysteries with her. She goes to visit him all the time. Okay. He's got this kind of dementia. And it tells us about it, where he, it's not Alzheimer's. Okay. It's a dementia where he hallucinates things, and he thinks people are there when they're not there, or he talks about this blue tiger that came to visit, and that just didn't happen. But to him, it's just so real. Yeah. But he doesn't really lose his memories. It's not that kind of dementia. And then, along with Shiki and the other guy, Waiter, Kada finds these sort of little mysteries that crop up, and she goes she sort of finds out about them. She does a little bit of investigating, and then she goes back to her grandfather. She tells him all about it, and he says to her, "Pass me one of my cigarettes." And that's always the start. He has one of his cigarettes, and he tells her, and he unravels the mystery, and he says, "This is, from everything you've told me, this is the answer to that mystery."
Oh wow!
And he's very clever. He's very knowledgeable.
Yeah.
And they've all read the sort of golden age of murder mysteries, all like the Agatha Christie's and all those things from like the 1930s to the 50s.
Okay.
And what's quite funny about that is that they're Japanese talking about reading books that were originally published in English.
Yeah. So
they talk about how they've been translated. And they struggle a bit with some of the names because they're not names that are similar. So the Forsyths and the Fortescues and the Fords, and it's like there's all these names to them that just are so alien that they don't get that they were then talking about that, which I found quite funny because I was having the same problem reading this translated from Japanese. So that was quite nice, and it's a universal problem. It's not just me. But I have read Japanese fiction before, and I enjoyed this. Yeah. Don't get me wrong, I did enjoy it, but I think I am going to stop reading Japanese fiction.
Okay.
Because the tone of it it's very particular to the Japanese culture.
Okay.
And it all comes across as quite matter of fact, and you don't really get into the characters, and and sometimes it's a little bit over-explainy. So she talks about how they all use honorifics and the different way of addressing people, and there's a lot of context around some of that.
Yeah.
That sometimes is needed, because if you don't call somebody, I mean, it's the equivalent of not calling your boss sir, or your teacher sir, then it's showing like a lack of respect.
Okay.
But that's not a really big issue in this culture as much as it is in Japan.
Okay. So is the book, is it like light-hearted, or is it like quite sinister?
It's quite light-hearted.
Okay.
Yeah, and it's actually split into 5 parts.
Okay.
So there's no real overarching mystery. There's like 5 little mysteries. So the first bit is chapter 1 is Those Little Scarlet Cells, it's called, which is mostly about her and her grandfather and his dementia. So the scarlet cells are basically referring to this disease that he's got.
Okay, so it's more like an introduction to the characters.
Yeah, and then you get the Izakaya Locked Room Murder Mystery, The Vanishing Person at the Pool, They Were 33, The Phantom Lady, and The Riddle of the Stalker.
Okay.
Now, The Riddle of the Stalker. So the first couple of mysteries are... So the Izakaya Locked Room Murder Mystery is kind of... This is a thing I heard about. It didn't happen, but... It didn't happen to anyone I know, but it's a thing I heard about.
Okay.
The Vanishing Person at the Pool is connected to a school that her grandfather used to be the headmaster of.
Okay.
Then They Were 33 is a mystery set that in Cater's classroom.
Okay.
Then The Phantom Lady is a sort of thing that happens to the trio, the 2 guys and Cater, whilst they're out for a day. So then there's a thing that happens.
Okay.
And then The Riddle of the Stalker is about somebody who is stalking Cater.
Okay, so what was your favourite one out of all of those?
I think The Phantom Lady was my favourite. I can't really say too much because it basically the mysteries, although they're insular, they kind of the first ones are building up the characters to get to this riddle of the stalker. So there's little bits throughout, but basically Waiter is wrongly accused of stabbing someone, and there is one witness who has disappeared, and that's the Phantom Lady.
Okay.
So people who like murder mysteries, who like crime novels, so Michael would probably really like this because there's a lot of references to the golden age of crime and this particular style. So the Phantom Lady is a particular style of mystery,
Okay.
So it's not, although that short story is called that, they then talk about a lot of other mystery novels, which are basically the Phantom Lady type novel where somebody disappears, or they talk about an urban legend about a woman who goes to Paris with her grandmother, or her mother, and her mum, she becomes very ill, so she goes out to the pharmacy to get her some pills, and then when she comes back, her mum's not there, and everyone at the hotel says, no, you didn't come with a mother, like you didn't, you travelled on your own. And so it's kind of that.
It's like
similar sort of thing. Nobody's this witness that could potentially get Waiter off. Nobody knows her. Nobody knows who they're talking about. So yeah, that's that. I thought was quite an interesting one.
Yeah.
But I think the tone, I guess the style of it and the tone, I just never quite get into it. It feels all too matter of fact.
Right.
Have you read any Agatha Christie?
I haven't actually. I've watched some with my family, but I want to get into them.
So one of the criticisms that I level at Agatha Christie, mostly just to wind Michael up, more than others, to be honest, but I find that sometimes when I've read an Agatha Christie, she's got a plot, and she's got 200 pages. The books aren't very long. Yeah. And then across those 200 pages, she's got some characters that prop it up.
Yeah.
And they don't all feel that real.
Okay.
Because they're there to service the plot. The plot is the main point of that. And I find that in a lot of Agatha Christie's writing, that her weakest part is her characters.
Okay, so they're more there just to like support the thing rather than to be...
I'm telling a story. It doesn't really matter what their backstory is or what their motivations are.
They're just there to help with it.
Here's a colonel. Here's a vicar. Just sort of there and just generic vicar doing generic vicary things and sort of all kind of stereotypes. I find, and I think I found that with this, in that it doesn't really get into the characters' motivations, and it's like, like one of them says, like they reveal their feelings for another one, and you go, okay, well there was no build up to that.
No.
I think some of that's cultural though. I think that in Japan they aren't necessarily big sort of displayers of emotion in that way. At least that's what I'm getting from all the Japanese fiction that I've read.
Okay.
So whether or not it is different, I don't know. But My Grandfather the Master Detective, I enjoyed it. I would say I never thought, oh God, I've got to go and read more of that book later. Yeah. I was like, oh, okay, I'll read the next one. So I did enjoy it, but there was just something that
was missing.
Yeah, it kind of felt like I was an outsider looking in.
Yeah.
Rather than
like being immersed within the story.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I didn't feel immersed.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's My Grandfather, the Master Detective. It's by Masateru Kanishi, and you can order it right now at bertsbooks.co.uk. It's time for my favourite part of the week, and it has been a few weeks since we've got to do it, so I'm extra specially excited. We're going to look at the bestseller charts, the best-selling books across the country, using Nielsen Bookscanner's latest market data. They're always a week out, so actually this week of theirs covers the last week of a little bit of Christmas up to that Saturday, so there's still a few big sales in there. And then we're going to take a look at the Bert's Books pillar of popularity. These are the 5 best-selling books right the way up to the 3rd of January. So that's a bit more up to date. But it's that funny time of year. There aren't really any new releases hanging around just yet. There's a few came out on the 1st, but more are going to be coming very, very soon. So, have we got much of a change? Well, not really. Let's take a look at that top 10, that UK-wide one. At number 10, down 2 places, it's Exit Strategy by Lee Child. At number 9, No Move for the Secret of Secrets by Dan Brown. And at number 8, down 2 places, it's The Private Eye Annual 2025. At number 7, up 5 places, 6 places in fact, it's The Housemaid by Frida McFadden. Number 6 is The Diary of a Wimpy Kid Party Pooper by Jeff Kinney. And at number 5, it's The 1% Club, Book 2, because book 1 is at number 4. No move for either of those. No move either for number 3, the Guinness World Records 2026. At number 2, it's The Impossible Fortune by Richard Osman. No move for that one either, which means no move for Always Remember Charlie Mackesy, which was the Christmas number 1 and still is number 1 as we head into 2026. Let's take a look at that pillar of popularity now. Now, like I said, not a huge amount of change. We've got a couple of new books on here. And I say new, they've been out a while. So, The Housemaid is Watching from Frida McFadden. That's gone in at number 5. Odd, I thought The Housemaid was going to make it in, but The Housemaid is Watching has made it in ahead of it. That's all because of the film that has just come out, so maybe people are catching up on the sequels now. Everyone in My Family Has Killed Someone by Benjamin Stevenson. A few years old, this one. It's come in at number 4. Now, what was really popular over Christmas was Everyone This Christmas Has Killed Someone. So maybe that's why that's done particularly well as people try and find out the rest of the series. Number 3, All the Colours of the Dark, one of our best-selling books of last year, is by Chris Whitaker. And number 2, speaking of best-selling books, Tell Your Dog I Love Them was our 3rd best-selling book of 2025, and it is number 2 on the pillar of popularity this week. Harriet Hitchin, not Harriet Lowther, Harriet Hitchin's Swindon Mountain, the best-selling book of 2025, comes in a strong start for 2026 by taking the top of the pillar of popularity in the first week. Will it still be there this next week? Will it be there at the end of the year? There is only one way to find out, and that is by listening to the Bert's Books podcast. So, Shatter Me by Tara Murphy.
Yeah.
That's what we're saying. Right. Read the blurb to me,
okay,
and then tell me what you think it's about.
Okay, so a fragile teenage girl is held captive, locked in a cell by the re-establishment, a harsh dictatorship in charge of a crumbling world. But Juliet is no ordinary teenager. One touch from her can kill. The re-establishment wants to use her as a weapon, but Juliet has other plans. After a lifetime without freedom, she's finally discovered the strength to fight back, and to find a future with the one person she thought she'd lost forever.
Oh, okay. So, tell me a little bit more, because the blurb doesn't really give everything away.
No.
Tell me a little bit more about the setup of it.
Okay, so the story starts with Juliet, and you find out very early on that the cell that she's locked in is part of an asylum. And, it's written in first person. The style of it is very different to anything I'd read when I read this for the first time, because you have lines and then you have them crossed out and you get to see how her mind's been working.
Or is it like a diary?
It begins very much like one, and she talks about how she writes in this diary, but she also says how she hasn't actually spoken out loud. And the first sentence is very hooking because it begins, I've been locked up for 264 days.
Oh, do you know, I thought you were going to say years. And I was like, wow, she's old.
She's really old. This isn't YA. No. And then there's a very big theme of numbers and counting, and that's a sort of way how you tie how her mind works into her surroundings. So it's really interesting.
So why is she locked up?
So this isn't a spoiler because you again find this out very often. She has accidentally killed a child.
Oh.
Yeah.
Dark.
So I know. So she was in a shop and she was with her parents, and then she goes and she's seen a child that's being neglected by their parents. It's just crying on the floor, so goes over to help them, but doesn't realise that when she's held them, she's actually killing them.
So her touch
is lethal. It can kill.
And she's gone through most of her life without that happening, and then it suddenly started to happen.
No, so it's it's always happened, but she thought she was holding this child through the clothing, but it somehow slipped.
Oh, so she knew that her touch could kill him,
and she was just trying to help, and then she was taken away and locked up
because she killed a child.
Yeah.
And now, is this in this world? Is this normal? Do lots of people have this sort of power?
It talks about people who have had this sort of power, but they were all killed by this the re-establishment, and then if they found people who do have these powers, they would either be killed or they would be locked up in these asylums and just pretty much just left to die.
Nice.
So, yeah, it's a very dark beginning,
yeah.
but...
So, the story then presumably progresses.
It does. She gets introduced to a new cellmate, so she immediately thinks that they're going to kill her because they need the room.
Yeah.
But then she later gets like taken out of this facility into another one, which is run by the chief commander of Sector 45, which is where the story's set. And she believes that she's going to be used as a weapon, and she's very out there with her thoughts. She's like, no, I don't want to do that and everything, and then that has repercussions. And the story just progresses with like her fight and climb towards her own freedom.
Yeah.
And she learns more about her powers and more about the people around her. And there's a very strong theme of like human connections within the book, which is very different from what she had at the start, and it slowly progresses towards the end of the story.
So it kind of is all about her finding like her people?
Yeah.
Her family? Like chosen family, I guess.
Yeah, exactly. And it throughout the entire series, that theme just keeps growing and growing, and especially with like changes in settings of the book as well.
So that's what I was going to ask next. This is part of a series.
Yeah, it's a very long series.
How long is the series?
You have 3 books in the Shatter Me series, another 3 in the Restore Me series, and then 3 in a novella collection, but they're all in the same series, and you read the novellas in between some of the larger books.
Does it work? So some series literally are book 1 is kind of part 1 of the story and ends on a cliffhanger, and you have to read book 2.
Yeah.
Some series are, the story is kind of... So like the Hunger Games, the story is part of a wider series, but the story of the first Hunger Games is all within one book, and you could read
it by itself.
Is that the same with this?
For the first book, you could. However, it doesn't give all the answers.
No.
So if you want to know, like, some of the background knowledge for the book, then you have to keep reading the series.
But like the main
storyline
plot
of
is
this
resolved.
Book,
like the main story. So like there's a clear beginning, middle, and end.
Yeah, exactly. But then the story with the characters change as you learn more about them.
Yeah.
So I'd say it's very important that if you enjoyed the book, you go and you read the rest.
And how is there a lot of characters in the book?
Yes.
Okay. You looked at me like I was insane.
No. There are less in the first one, as she's been locked up for a while. But when you get to the second book, there are so many. It's like keeping track. Because I read this when I was year 7, so like keeping track of
many
years
ago.
That is, yeah, I'm year 10 now.
Wow.
But I've reread it so many times.
So why is this? Because is this your favourite book?
It is. It's one of my favourite series.
So why?
I don't know. It was just something about it that just like hooked me from the start, and I couldn't stop without reading the next series, because I read it when I was on holiday. There weren't really any bookshops around.
Where did you go?
I was like somewhere in Scotland.
Right, so somewhere in Scotland there is an opportunity for somebody to open a bookshop.
There is, yeah. I mean, have you ever seen it's in like an honesty bookshop in like post boxes?
Yeah, the little community one.
I found one of those and I went hunting for the next book in the series, and it wasn't there. I was so upset. It wasn't even funny.
It's quite funny.
I
just seeing you dragging your parents around every phone box in Scotland. I was like,
there's a phone box, Mum. Can I have a look? Yeah.
Is the series finished?
Yes. This one has. How she's just released a new series with the same characters, but it follows a different story. So that one, the first book in that series is called Watch Me.
Right.
And it follows one of the younger characters in this series. And it's them when they're like 21 years oldish, and then it follows their new story and their new take on the re-establishment. So
Juliet is the main character in this. Yes. Does she stay as the main character throughout the Shatter Me series, or does it switch?
She's the main priority. She started this entire thing, and for the first 3 books, she's the person whose perspective you read.
Yeah.
And then when you get onto the Restore Me series, you have multiple people's perspectives within the book. You have 3.
But still Juliet.
But still Juliet, she's the main character.
And then this new one, Watch Me.
Yeah.
Is Juliet in that?
She is in that, but not as much, because she's not necessarily the main character in that one. The main character is a boy called James.
So it's all set in the same.
It's all set in the same universe. Yeah.
And it carries on. Has she written anything that's not this series?
Yeah, he's written This Woven Kingdom, which I've wanted to read for a while, and I just got for Christmas, so I'm very excited to read that.
Exciting.
I know, well, I think my aunt got it from here.
Well, even more exciting.
Yeah, and then she's also written A Very Large Expanse of Sea and An Emotion of Great Delight.
So obviously it's your favourite series, favourite book. Slightly different question. Is she your favourite author?
She is one of my favourite authors.
Who is your other favourite authors, do you reckon? Suzanne Collins, obviously.
Suzanne Collins, yeah. Stephanie Garber.
Oh, yeah. The
Caraval and Once Upon a Broken Heart series. Oh, this is really difficult. I also love Holly Jackson and Cynthia Murphy for more like horror and like murder mystery side of things.
If there was is there a genre that you would like to get into? Is there something like that you want to try? Because obviously you're still working out your sort of reading life. I'm not saying you're going to stop reading young adult and move on to something else, because you may just sit and read that for the next 40 years.
Sounds like a great life.
But are there genres that you haven't really tried, like in adult fiction, that you would like to try a bit more of?
I don't know, actually. I haven't given it much thought. I want to read some more classics. Yeah. Because I haven't read that many of those, and I want to get more into that.
What year are you at? You're 10. So you're doing GCSEs this year?
Yeah.
Or starting your GCSEs. So are you doing a lot of English in like books in English where you have to sort of interrogate them and pull them apart?
So we've just done Macbeth and A Christmas Carol.
Nice.
So I've really enjoyed it.
I did Macbeth and I really loved it.
Yeah, I love Macbeth.
Do you know what other books you'll be doing across the next 2 years?
I know we're doing an Inspector Calls.
Yeah.
And
everyone does that.
Yeah. And then I think we're just doing poetry as well. So
yeah.
Great.
Cool. So that is Shatter Me.
Yeah.
By
Tara Maffey.
Excellent. And if people wanted to order a copy, where might they be able to do that?
Bert's Books website.
Excellent. bertsbooks.co.uk. Good answer. That is everything for this week. We have, and I say we, me and Esme, have talked about My Grandfather, the Master Detective, and we have talked about Shatter Me. We have listened to the charts, which is very exciting. Finding out what the number 1 book is of the first number 1 of the year.
Yeah.
That was exciting. Wasn't expecting that, was I? No. Not
at all.
No. Complete surprise. We'll add that bit in later. So now I've got a question. Have you been watching The Traitors?
I have. We watched the 2 episodes last night, actually.
So did you know that Harriet Tice, who is on it, is an author?
I did.
Yes, and she's been to the shop.
Yeah.
And she's coming to the shop again.
Is she?
She is, in February.
Very
which I'm very excited about.
Yeah.
Partly because, so that people know this, the Bert's Books website started in about 2019, and it started out of a conversation that I had after a few drinks with a couple of authors at a road show. So one of the publishers' headline, we're taking people around the country, and they were inviting booksellers along. I'd just left Smith's, but I'd already said I'd go. So I went along anyway. And partly because I thought I might need a job.
Yeah.
So I'll go along and talk to the publisher and see if I get a job with them. And sitting in this pub, I was telling a few of them, oh yeah, I've actually just left, so I don't know what I'm doing with my life now. Yeah. And in that room was Dominic Nolan, who writes a lot of sort of gritty crime.
Yeah.
And Rick Samada, who was a journalist, he wrote a non-fiction book. He's been, well, in fact, both him and Dom have been a guest on the Shelf Life podcast.
Okay.
And also was Harriet Tice. So Harriet was kind of there at the beginning of Bert's books.
Yeah, the beginning of it all.
Yeah. And that was when her first book, Blood Orange, was coming out. So, yeah, that was a nice thing. So I've always sort of like, always got time for Harriet. Like, she's part of the Bert's books history. So when they said a couple of months ago, oh, you know, because we've got her coming in with Will Dean.
Okay.
So Will Dean is a thriller writer who is also part of the Bert's Books family. He comes every year to talk about his newest book.
Yeah.
So we've got an event with him, and they said, who do we want to do it with? And I said, oh, Harriet Tice has got a book coming out at the same time. Maybe we should do it with her. Yeah. So that was booked in. That's happening. And then she's appeared on mainstream BBC One, The Traitors, which is great. It's
lovely.
Great advert for her book.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'm becoming a bit obsessed with Harriet on The Traitors.
Yeah.
Because I'm just like, I love The Traitors anyway.
Yeah, I love it so much.
But this series so far, every time I watch it, I'm like, I don't care about these people. What's
Harriet.
What's Harriet up to? What's my friend doing?
What's she having for her lunch?
Yes! Did she have the lamb shank? I need to know.
What's she drinking?
That lamb shank did look nice.
It did look really good.
So I'm hoping, like, she's not been very, I haven't done a lot with her so far, so I'm hoping maybe that she's got a bigger part to play as the series goes on.
Yeah.
So normally the way they edit it is the people who go out first get a bit more screen time. Yeah. So that's exciting.
Yeah.
Episode 3 will be on. Well, it's on tonight as we record. It was on yesterday as we're listening. If people are listening and would like to pre-order Harriet's new book, Witch Trial, you can get a signed and dedicated copy because she's going to be here the week before it's published. Ooh. So she'll be signing people's names in it and her own name, presumably. Yes. So yeah, you can do that by visiting the website. You can also find all of Harriet's past books up there if you want to check them out. Blood Orange is the first one, and I think I haven't read Witch Trial yet. I'm going to do that very soon. But I think Blood Orange might still be her best. Witch Trial is the one I was going to read. And then I thought, no, I better read this one instead.
Okay.
So I'll probably start Witch Trial tonight.
Ooh.
So I'm looking forward to that. If you're in Swindon on, I think it's the 19th of February. No, actually, it's that week, but it might be like the 17th. It might be the Tuesday.
Yeah.
If you're in Swindon on that day, you can come to Bert's Books and you can meet both Harriet and Will and get your book signed there and ask her lots of questions about the Traitors.
Yeah.
I'm sort of like, I don't know how I'm going to do that event now because it's kind of...
It's just going to be Traitors fans.
It's just going to be Traitors talk.
Yeah.
Like, I'll be like, hi Will, shut up, I'm going to talk to Harriet about the Traitors.
Okay, so how was the lamb?
Yeah.
How was the food?
How was the food? Are these attractive men that you were locked up in a castle with single, and did you bring any of them with you?
Yeah.
These are the main questions. Oh, that's my diary going off. That must be time to end. Yes, you can go to the website. We've got a lot of events coming up. We've got one with Jenny Godfrey. We've got one with Will Dean and Harriet.
Yeah.
We've got one with Patrick Gale. We've got one with Emma Healy. All of those, they're all on the website. You can go to bertsbooks.co.uk and find them. You can email us, bert@bertsbooks.co.uk, if you want to take part in the podcast. You could just do what Esme's done and record a whole episode, or you can just send us a little voice note that just tells us what your favourite book is and what you've been reading. You can email that across to us. You can, I think on Spotify, you can just reply to a podcast.
I think so. You can write comments.
Yeah, you can certainly write comments. And you can rate review, and subscribe to the podcast. That way you will never miss an episode. You can also follow us on Twitter, Blue Sky, Instagram, TikTok. We are there. We don't use it.
Okay.
We are also going to be on YouTube very soon. So when I say that, I think basically it's just this podcast is going to be available to listen to on YouTube. Yeah. Like, don't get too excited. But yeah, we're gonna start doing YouTube.
Ooh.
I don't know why, but let's try it. Let's
do it anyway.
Let's see what happens. Right, that really is everything now. Say goodbye, Esme.
Goodbye, Esme.